Good morning, Floss tubers. This is my first formal video for FlossTube, and I'm very excited but nervous. I had a little practice video where my granddaughter taught me how to make a video, but this is my first formal one, and I'm really happy to be a part of this community. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Diana Zaslow, and I go by Dee's Delights Stitcher. I'll tell you where Dee's Delights came from at another time. I started stitching 26 years ago. My first husband passed away, and I found myself with nothing to do and sitting on the couch crying with my little schnauzer next to me. I found an ad in a local newspaper that gave a course on counted cross stitch, so I went. I fell in love with it. And I found this in my stash. I haven't seen it since I made it. I never framed it, which I probably will now. This was my first attempt at counted cross stitch in that class. And I love it. Simple, but sweet, but true. I'm very happy that I found FlossTube. Found you about 2 months ago, and I am totally hooked. I have gotten so many helpful hints from so many of you talented people, guys and gals. Okay, a little bit more about me. I'm a Jersey girl, New Jersey, born and bred, and then I lived 16 years in Connecticut, and now it'll be 3 years in August, we've moved to Bonita Springs, Florida, on the west coast between Naples and Fort Myers. When I was in Connecticut, I belonged to the EGA, and when I came to Bonita Springs, I found that Naples had a chapter of about 60 people, so I was thrilled. Before I tell you about some of my finishes, I know you guys call them FFOs. I call them FFPs, finally finished projects. We were traveling up north last 3 weeks, and we went by car, so I was able to put a lot of things in the car. Never again. I think we will fly up and rent a car. But we stopped at Cracker Barrel a couple of times for soup and sandwiches, and I found some cute things. First of all, I found this metal holder. Came with a pad, and it came with these 3 little magnets. But I have it on the wall now, next to where I stitch, and these are all my needle minders. This one I made, this was a necklace of my mother's. This I bought in Sicily on my honeymoon, and this I bought at a craft store, and I made them into needle minders. This was my very first one. It's Little Women, the book, and then I bought these others, and these came from, I have her card here. These came from Needle Minders Obsession. She has some really, really cute needle minders. Hope that's focused. Okay, that's that. Oh, while I was on our travels, we stopped. I found this cute little mug. I'm really a tea drinker, but I love blue crabs, so I had to buy the mug. Okay, let me show you some of my finishes. This is the very first counted cross stitch that I did. People said I was crazy to tackle such a large project. but I collected bears at the time, and I just fell in love with it. It was so much fun to do. And it is Calendar Bears by Trexler Designs. One of the gals said there's a lot of preparation getting ready to do a video, and she's right. First of all, I'm not a morning person. So I got up and I got myself all dolled up to visit with you guys today. This is one of my very favorites. This is called European Bistro, and it reminds me so much of Italy. This is the gold collection. That's my favorite. And if people look at it on the wall and they think it's an oil painting. This is another one of my favorites. This is a Paula Vaughan, and it's called Inspired by Scripture. And that wedding quilt was a nightmare to do, but I love it. Most of you gals are into samplers. I mostly like to do cross stitch that tells a story, but this is a sampler I did while I lived in Connecticut. Trying to not do a glare. And it's a New England sampler, and I worked on this a whole year, and I fell in love with it. There's the pilgrims on top, the whale, the lobster, the ships, the lighthouse, and the New England scenes. And this is from Ginger and Spice. It's called the New England Sampler. I think it's going to take time to get used to putting these things in front of the camera. Laying them down because I don't want them to fall. So that was my first sampler. And then I did this one, which is really small, cute, and sweet. And this is from Butternut Road. Children's Garden. I thought it was so cute, the two little kids in the garden. And this is my first Floridian finish. My first Florida finish. It is a Dimensions, and it's called the Dolphin's Dream. Now, I don't know how long this video will go because I've never done this before, as I said, and I'm still nervous. But I want to show you something that I did EGA in Connecticut. We had Teresa Lyman come to our group and show us how to do knotwork. These are all French and colonial knots. I'm sitting on my lanai, and I've got that in the background, and it's, so I don't know if you can see it. This is called the Pumpkin Patch by Teresa Lyman. And they're all French and English knots. Fun to do, but tedious. Okay, one other thing I want to show you. My mother passed away a couple of years ago. She would have been 100 this past April, and I miss her every day. But in her items, when we were clearing things out, I found this, and I remember she told me she worked on this when she was, I think, 8 or 9 or 10. And I found it, and I think I'm going to finish it. I don't know if you can see it. I guess it's embroidery. She didn't do counted cross stitch or needlework, but she was a beautiful, beautiful knitter. She made afghans for all my cousins' bridal showers. So I think I'm going to finish this and maybe make it into a little pillow, pass on to my granddaughter. Now, let me tell you a little more about myself. I said my first husband passed away in 1991. He was 51 and I was 47. I was widowed 8 years when I found another wonderful man from Connecticut. I found him on widownet.org. And I said a widow for 8 years, and I figured that was going to be my life. And I had another girlfriend who was widowed, and we went out to dinner, we went to the movies. We wanted to meet new people. So we joined that organization, and I met my husband, Len. He's a tall, thin, Jewish fella, and I told him I was a short, chubby Italian. And he was in Connecticut, I was in New Jersey. We just wanted to meet, to go out to dinner, to go to the theater in New York. Nothing was going to come of this. We're too far away. Well, time has passed. We got together and we found the Jewish people and the Italian people have a lot in common. They're very family-oriented and they like to eat. And he's a wonderful cook, and he does all my cooking now. We will be married 17 years in October, and very, very happy. He's a wonderful man. Well, on our travels up north this past 3 weeks to visit family and friends, I was on Floss Tube, and the Stitchery book girl told us about a shop in Reading, Pennsylvania called Stitch and Stuff. Well, I got my sister-in-law to go with me. She's not a stitcher, but she went with me, and I walked in the door, and I thought I died and went to heaven. We really don't have shops like that out here. We have one shop that's completely just needlepoint, and that's not my thing. So I want to show you some of the things. Also, in the past, I would work on 1 or 2 items and work on just those until they were fully finished. Well, since I've met you guys on FlossTube, that's not the way I roll. I don't know when I'm going to get to all these things. But first I got Grandpa's truck. I got Snow Days. I got the Little Red Barn. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do all in this set. Some people are doing all in the set and then you put them all on one piece of fabric. This is Prizeworthy Stitches Widow Black's B&B. This is going to be fun. Love to work on Halloween and Christmas items. Okay. I had to get this chocolate. Of course, I told you I'm going by Dee's Delights Stitcher. But what I didn't tell you is I also make homemade chocolates. And in our community, we have a Christmas boutique at the beginning of November, and the girls at the activity center want me to set up a table to sell chocolates. So I hope to do a couple of these and put them on the table. Not to sell, but just as a decoration. Okay. Love Hobby Lobby. We have one here in Bonita Springs, in Naples. I found this. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this on black, but I had to get it. It was on sale for $3. Then this one was also on sale for $3, and it reminds me of Sorrento. We went to Italy for our honeymoon, Sicily and Sorrento and Positano and in Capri, Anna Capri, and there were lemons all over the place. These were only $1 each at Hobby Lobby. Love ice cream. And I love little ladybugs. I'm not crazy about frogs, but it was only $1, so I'll stitch it up. Then, in a thrift shop, I found this for $4. It is so pretty, and it reminds me of Connecticut. I don't know. Needle art, cross my heart, that's what it says. But look at the chart. It's going to drive me crazy. Okay, I think I'm almost done here. Oh, also, I see how Priscilla and Vaughn sets out all their little smalls. So I'm starting to make some smalls, and I have this lovely bowl. And in that thrift shop in Pennsylvania, I found this lovely doily. Isn't that pretty? So I think I'm going to put it in that bowl eventually when I have some smalls during different seasons. Well, I think that's it for today. I appreciate you guys watching me, and I hope you subscribe and ring that little bell, because I would love to do this again. And I have some whips. I have quite a few whips now, which I never had before, and I would love to show them to you. So have a great day and keep stitching. Bye-bye.